Welcome to this week's Quick Trivia with Mike. Unfortunately, Mike is a card-carrying mime, and we haven't heard from him in a while. He may be trapped behind an invisible wall, or walking an invisible dog, or caught in a windstorm. Never mind. Okay. All right. Let's try that again. It's like Winnebago, man. Welcome to this week's Quick Trivia with Mike. Unfortunately, Mike is not here, so you got the substitute, Cooper. And here I have Cooper's coffee, just so I can remember who it belongs to. Let's see. I'm not usually in front of the camera, so I have to admit I feel very awkward and nervous. But we're going to make the best of it together. Let's start by announcing last week's winners. Last week's winners were Kevin Schroeder, Terry Sundberg, and Sandra Meyer. And last week's answers were, the song was Mac the Knife. No, that's wrong. It was Proud Mary. All right, let's try this a third time. All right, let's shake out the sillies. All right. Welcome again to Quick Trivia with Mike. I think you'll notice that I am not Mike, though I often aspire to be like Mike. I'm Cooper, and in case I forget, I have written Cooper's Coffee on my mug, because some mornings can be pretty rough, and it's good to have a reminder and a good cup of joe. I'm substituting today, if you can guess, and well, I think I'll start by letting you know what the last week's answers were. The answers to the questions were in this order. Question 1, the answer was Mac the Knife. Question 2, it was Rita Hayworth. She was forbidden to participate by Columbia Pictures because she was under contract for a film and was replaced by Marlene Dietrich. And the answer to question number 3, that kiss that Dorothy received on the forehead, it was to protect her from the Wicked Witch. Now the tiebreaker, the bumper music, that was Proud Mary, written by Creedence Clearwater Revival, or if you're one of the cool kids and you don't have time to say Creedence Clearwater Revival, CCR. That's how we always refer to them. Now, they wrote the original version, but we at the studio feel that the superior version is the one by Ike and Tina Turner. And yeah. They did a great job in that one. I don't even know why I wrote this stuff down. Anyway, yeah. I'm gonna skip that.
Whether you're a four-step bowler or a five-step bowler, doesn't make much difference if you knock down the pins.
But when it comes to brewing beer, there is a difference of opinion that really matters. You see, some brewers believe in making two kinds of beer. One beer for the tap.
And a different beer for bottles. And cans.
But not Milwaukee's favorite, Blatz. Blatz makes just one great draft brewed beer. Some goes into Blatz kegs for the tap, and the same great draft brewed beer goes into Blatz bottles and cans. That way, you always get real draft brewed pleasure from bottle, can, or tap. I'm from Milwaukee and I ought to know. It's draft brewed Blatz beer wherever you go.
Smoother, fresher.
Less spelling, that's clear.
Blatz is Milwaukee's finest beer.
Milwaukee's favorite, too, Blatz. It's draft brewed.
I'm going to skip that. I'm going to go right on to the questions for next week. Next week's questions. Here we go. All right. Let's start with this one. Benjamin Franklin, known as the first American. He was a writer, a printer, a political philosopher, a politician, a Freemason, a postmaster, scientist, inventor, humorist, civic activist, statesman, and diplomat. As a scientist, he was a major figure in the American Enlightenment and the history of physics for his discoveries and theories regarding electricity. As an inventor, he is known for the lightning rod, bifocals, and the Franklin stove, among other inventions. He founded many civic organizations, including the Library Company, Philadelphia's first fire department, and the University of Pennsylvania. He did quite a lot, and he started at a very, very young age when he ran away from home. We could go on and on about Benjamin Franklin, but I would like to focus on his feelings about turkeys. Now, Scott and I do a lot of research for trivia for Mike, during the year, and sometimes things fall, through the cracks. Sometimes things aren't worthy of Mike's show, but luckily for me, I'm substituting this week, so I get to break out the stuff that wasn't good enough to be on earlier. Which, as it happens, deals with Benjamin Franklin and his feelings about turkeys. So, Benjamin Franklin actually wasn't much of a fan of the bald eagle in America on our national seal, or as a symbol of America. He actually preferred the turkey. He saw the eagle as a bird of bad moral character, whereas he saw the turkey, he thought of it as a bird that was much more respectable, more wholesome, which I think is interesting. But that's not the question. I'm supposed to be leading up to the question, but I'm meandering. Benjamin Franklin, he had his politics, he had his experiments. The question is, what did Benjamin Franklin try to do in 1750 to a turkey? What experiment did he try to accomplish with a turkey in 1750? That's the question. Vague, strange, meandering. There you have it. Moving on to question number 2. Now, everyone's heard of Marilyn Monroe, famous popular culture symbol, actress, sex symbol, yada yada. Well, we also know that she was married a few times. Oh my goodness, what time is it? I need more coffee. All right. Welcome to another quick trivia with Mike. My name isn't Mike though, it's Cooper. Alright. Okay. Let's slate this. Okay. Welcome once more to Quick Trivia with Mike, with your special guest, Cooper. I'm happy to be the substitute this week, and I have to say that I've got a good amount of preparation. Not usually in front of the camera. Usually I'm one of the hired geeks that works in the studio, behind the scenes. But this is a good change of pace for me. And hopefully this will be as painless as possible. I'd like to start by letting you know what the answers were to last week's questions. Question 1. The answer was Mac the Knife. Question 2. Rita Hayworth was forbidden to participate by Columbia Pictures because she was under contract for a film and was replaced by Marlene Dietrich. Number 3. The kiss protected Dorothy from the Wicked Witch. And the tiebreaker, the bumper music, was Proud Mary by Creedence Clearwater Revival, or, as the hip kids say it, CCR. Much faster than saying the whole name of the band. Now, we at the studio, being music fans of all genres and time periods, like to admit that we prefer the Ike and Tina Turner version of that song. And I could go on about that, but instead I'm going to jump right into who won the trivia questions last week. Okay. The winners from last week were, drum roll please, Kelvin Schroeder, Terry Sundberg, and Sandra Meyer. They all got all 3 questions right, and they all got the tiebreaker music. So, congratulations. You'll see your picture up on Touchtown, and let's get on to this week's questions if we can. I got flop sweat running down my back. At least no one is throwing Rotten Tomatoes at me at this point. Okay, let's start with the trivia question I have right here. A lot of words here, folks. All right. I'm going to talk about a little bit about the pandemic. Everyone's wearing masks. I actually feel pretty self-conscious not wearing one, mostly because of COVID. But the German company, Melita, redirected its efforts from making coffee filters to making medical masks during the 2020 COVID-19 pandemic. The company, whose filters were invented in 1908 by a Dresden housewife named Melita Benz, realized that the filters were the perfect shape to fit over a person's mouth, nose, and chin. I wonder if they protect from coffee breath. All they had to do was replace the filter with a special melt-blown fiber normally used in their vacuum bags, and then attach an elastic band. The systems they already had in place allowed them to manufacture 1 million masks per day at their factory, which provided a big boost to Europe's mask supply. If you remember, having enough masks was a big issue at the beginning of the pandemic. We had a lot of wonderful residents and their family members donate their time by making masks by sewing them, and that was very, very appreciated. Companies, manufacturing, people followed suit. They didn't donate them, but they they made masks when we needed them, and that was the important thing. So, anyway, so coffee filters, face masks. I always have coffee breath, so I wear a face mask. Anyway, coffee, as legend has it, has been around in Africa and the Middle East since the 19th century and was brought to Europe in the 16th century. And at the time, many thought of it as a Muslim drink or the devil's drink. And the drink was brought to Pope Clement VIII, who, as legend has it, took a sip and announced, "This devil's drink is delicious. We should cheat the devil by baptizing it," which I think is a great workaround to get your coffee. Anyway, that in turn ensured that coffee became more popular in Europe. Now, it was banned after that a few times, specifically by King Charles II in 1675. He banned coffee houses because he believed that they would be used for people to gather and plot against him, which wasn't so far-fetched of an idea because both the American and French Revolution were both planned, for the most part, in coffee houses. People get caffeinated, they get agitated, they start speaking politics. Pretty soon you got a whole group going. You got a whole thing on your hands, and everybody's jumpy. Good way to get stuff done. Anyway, moving on to the history of coffee. This is going somewhere, I promise. The Boston Tea Party actually helped gain popularity for coffee in America. Because before that, it wasn't as popular as tea, but because of tea being harder to get, more Americans drank coffee. So, it slowly gained popularity over the years through different groups. So the trivia question is, what did Maxwell House do in 1923 as a marketing strategy to reach out to a group of consumers that didn't drink coffee during a certain time of the year? So, I don't want to give too much away, but there was something that Maxwell House did to bring in more coffee drinkers. And it had to do with the technicality about what coffee really was. So, rambling and vague, but I got to the question. So, I'll move on to the next one. Question number 2. Benjamin Franklin. Some consider the first American. Sort of a title that was given to him because of all the things he did in America. He was a British American, a polymath, and one of the founding fathers of the United States. Franklin was a leading writer, printer, political philosopher, politician, Freemason, postmaster, scientist, inventor, humorist, civic activist, statesman, and diplomat. As a scientist, he was a major figure in the American Enlightenment and the history of physics for his discoveries and theories regarding electricity. As an inventor, he is known for the lightning rod, bifocals, and, wouldn't you know it, the Franklin stove. I wonder if that's a coincidence. Among other inventions. He founded many civic organizations, including the Library Company, Philadelphia's first fire department, and the University of Pennsylvania. Now, legend has it that Franklin wasn't a fan of the bald eagle, and he preferred a turkey instead. But apparently that's not true. Benjamin Franklin never said he wanted a turkey and not the bald eagle on our national seal. First of all, although he served on the early committee that discussed the Great Seal, Franklin ultimately wasn't on the one that finally settled on the bald eagle. The oft-cited letter in which he calls the eagle a bird of bad moral character and lauds the turkey as a much more respectable bird wasn't talking about the country as a whole. Rather, he was writing to his daughter to complain about the Society of the Cincinnati, a military fraternity formed by Revolutionary War officers whose symbol was also the eagle, one that happened to strongly resemble a turkey. Well, that's clear as mud, isn't it? Anyway, this is all leading up to our second question. Benjamin Franklin, inventor, writer, politician, philosopher. What did he do, or attempt to do, in 1750 with a turkey? This is a lesser-known experiment of Benjamin Franklin's. He attempted to do what with a turkey in 1750? All right. Still with me? All right, I'm still here. I'm still breathing. All right. Whew. Question number 3. Marilyn Monroe. There's so much to say about Marilyn Monroe. Actress, sex symbol, singer, pop culture icon. She, I don't know why talking about Marilyn Monroe makes me laugh. Anyway, Marilyn Monroe. Question 3. About Marilyn Monroe, otherwise known as Norma Jean Baker. Norma Jean Baker's first marriage was arranged. As a child, Norma Jean Baker, originally spelled as Norma Jean. Let's forget that. Question 3. Marilyn Monroe, born Norma Jean Baker, grew up to be a model, an actress, all-around American sex symbol, and pop culture icon for generations. Her first marriage was arranged. She was 15 years old. Norma Jean Baker, or Marilyn Monroe, had been staying with family friend Grace Goddard. They decided to move to West Virginia and couldn't take Baker with them. Unless she married, the teenager would have been turned back over to an orphanage where she grew up. That's a whole other story. So they turned to 20-year-old James Doherty, the next door neighbor, and suggested a marriage. I thought she was awful young, he later said. We talked and we got on pretty good. They were married just 18 days after she turned 16. Marilyn was also married to Joe DiMaggio and Arthur Miller. Monroe's marriage to Arthur Miller probably tells you that she may or may not have been more attracted to older men. Monroe was once roommates with actress Shelley Winters, who said they made a list of men they thought were attractive. You know, just for fun. Girl stuff while they're hanging out. There was no one under 50 on hers, Shelley Winters later reported. I never got to ask her before she died how much of her list she had dated. But on her list was Albert Einstein, and after her death, all right. Question 3. Marilyn Monroe, born Norma Jean Baker, was a popular model, actress, singer, sex symbol, and pop culture icon. She was married 3 times. Her first marriage was arranged and to a 20-year-old neighbor. Her second was to baseball legend Joe DiMaggio, and her third was to playwright Arthur Miller. Her roommate, Shelley Winters, and her, at one point, made a list of men they thought were attractive and would possibly like to date. Now, Shelley Winters reportedly noticed that many of the men on Marilyn Monroe's list were older than her. She seemed to prefer older men. The question is, whose framed picture did Marilyn Monroe keep on her white piano? That's question 3. Not much of a story with that one, but a lot less rambling. So, I want you to listen to the bumper music and get your answers ready. And as usual, send them our way. And we all look forward to Mike's return next week, when he can take the wheel back from us behind the camera guys. All right. I hope you have a great day.
Yeah.